In a world filled with calamity and disaster, how can we as a species prepare? How can we survive? Welcome back to the show. That's Matt behind the camera. I'm Ben. Most importantly, you and Scully are here, which makes this stuff they don't want you to know. And this week, we're looking at something that is controversial, to say the absolute least about it. This is a topic that you have asked us for months, maybe, I don't know, what do you think, Matt? Years? Years. We've heard about it on email, Facebook, Twitter. We're conspiracy stuff at both of those, by the way. Here's the question. What is a crisis actor? Well, that depends on who you ask and which event or crisis you're referring to. The crisis actor theory, here's the gist, is that certain mass tragedies are in fact staged events. It's literally a performance, and that it's made to deceive the public, to beguile the average person into believing that all of the guns in the US need to be taken away from the common person, or that it isn't safe to go to a school. You'll hear different theories about this, often tying into the larger goal of making a population more amenable to increasing government control. There are quite a few proponents of this idea, among them Alex Jones, James Tracy, and this concept, right, of a crisis actor means that if you believe this, then you're saying that Sandy Hook, for instance, or the Boston bombing, or even 9/11 were staged events that occurred for this purpose of ultimately swaying the mind of a population. A lot of people find these kinds of theories to be profoundly offensive. In the case of the Sandy Hook shooting, there's a man who rescues 6 children and was accused of being a crisis actor and was harassed, digitally. People were calling his phone, delving into his private life. And of course, a lot of people believe that this is an offensive idea because folks really did die in these events. There's no way around that fact. And their criticism here, which is a valid question, is it not demeaning to the people who actually died to say that this entire thing was essentially a dog and pony show? So those are, at large, the two sides of the debate on this theory. And this theory takes two concepts that you have heard about before if you've watched our episodes. One is the idea of false flag attacks, and the other is the idea of military gaming or scenario role-playing, right? And it combines these two, but the goal here, instead of military preparedness, is more population preparedness. And here's where it gets crazy, especially for the skeptics in the audience who think this is entirely offensive and ridiculous. Okay, both of the things I just mentioned are real. False flag attacks really have occurred and may still be occurring. Gulf of Tonkin, anyone? However, it is also true that this sort of role-playing that militaries and first responders and agencies in governments throughout the world engage in, that stuff really happens. And crisis actors are real. Maybe not the way you think, though, because what crisis actors do, what we are talking about, is a very strange day job. Imagine this is your job. Every day you get up and you report to this off-site base in the middle of nowhere, and you go to a wardrobe room, right, where they bandage up your arm, and give you a little black on your eye or something, and you are going to spend the next day pretending to be someone who narrowly survived an earthquake, or someone who narrowly survived an invasion from a foreign military. This stuff really happens. I know it sounds like LARPing. I know it does. And in a way, it is. Private companies are hired to play these reindeer games, or war games, I guess I should say, and they've been doing it for years. However, the difference here is that the people who are doing these things are participating in a scenario that everyone knows is hypothetical. Either side of whatever red-blue team stuff is going on, all the bystanders, the real crisis actors, the ones that are proven to exist and might be working as you watch this video, think of them like real-life versions of non-player characters in Fallout or Skyrim or something. They're NPCs, and they only have a certain amount of choices they make and things like that. However, taking this idea and saying that there are paid performers in actual tragedies, or tragedies that people who believe in crisis actors would argue are staged, taking it to that level requires a lot of proof. And at this point, it seems that there isn't any hard evidence. Now, you can find a lot of people who believe in this crisis actor theory, crisis actor theorists. You can find them posting photographs on websites and saying, this person looks similar to this person from this event. Oh, and there she is again. However, that alone, a similarity in a photograph, is not the kind of hard, universally accepted proof that would have to be there. And I know it sounds like we're explaining away this theory or dismissing it, but there's another wrinkle to the story. There are a couple. This is a wrinkly story. One, there's no secret that several widespread drills, disaster drills, have occurred in very close proximity, time-wise, to actual disasters. Coincidence? Just bad timing? What do you think? The second one, there are things kind of like the crisis actor theory that have actually been proven to occur. Consider the story of Nurse Nariah. We've talked about this before, but this was a person who was paid to go and tell what turned out to be a completely untrue story about horrific atrocities occurring in hospitals, justifying conflicts in the Middle East. Later, it turned out that not only was Nurse Nariah not a nurse, but that she was the daughter of an official who was prosecuted on the side of war in the Middle East. Things like that have occurred before. It's a murky world where there's this intersection between PR and propaganda and power. So the big question is then, how far does this go? That's what we're going to be looking at in our audio podcast this week. We're going to explore the various theories regarding Sandy Hook, San Bernardino, the other various mass shootings and disasters that we've heard about recently. And we're going to do it in the most respectful, objective way possible. We hope you'll tune in, and we hope to hear from you. So let us know what you think about this whole theory. Is there anything to it? Is it a bunch of bunk? Is it offensive? Or something else? Let us know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. We also have a live show once a week that Facebook, for some creepy corporate reason, won't let us tell you about. It's on Periscope. So if you follow us on Twitter, where we're conspiracy stuff, you can also see Matt, Noel, Scully, Steve, myself, a couple of different surprise guests every week, Fridays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, if you have an idea for a show, if you want to contact us, but you don't like the whole social media brouhaha, then of course, write to us directly. We are conspiracy@howstuffworks.com.